That first bite into a McDonald's French fry? The satisfying crunch as your teeth break through the golden exterior? The burst of steam carrying that unmistakable aroma? The perfect hit of salt coating your fingers? It's a taste recognized in over 100 countries, with McDonald's serving more than 9 million pounds of fries every single day. But what does it take to turn an ordinary potato into the world's most iconic fast food item? The journey is far more complex than you might imagine, spanning thousands of miles, multiple factories, and a cooking method that defies everything you thought you knew about making fries. From the sun-soaked fields of Idaho to your tray in just minutes, we're pulling back the curtain on the closely guarded secrets behind the golden fry. The journey begins in the vast potato fields of the Pacific Northwest, where McDonald's sources nearly all of its potatoes for North American fries. But not just any potato will do. The company exclusively uses russet Burbank potatoes, a variety specifically chosen for its high starch content and low sugar levels. Why does that matter? Sugar is the enemy of the perfect fry. Too much sugar causes the potato to caramelize and turn dark brown during frying, creating an uneven, unappetizing appearance. That's why farmers work closely with McDonald's agronomists to monitor the sugar-to-starch ratio throughout the growing season, ensuring each batch meets the exact specifications needed for that signature golden color. Harvest season runs from late summer through fall, when massive mechanical harvesters dig beneath the soil, lifting entire plants and separating the potatoes from dirt and debris. The freshly unearthed spuds are loaded into trucks holding up to 50,000 pounds and transported to nearby storage facilities, where they rest in climate-controlled cellars at precisely 45 degrees Fahrenheit. This temperature keeps them dormant, preventing sprouting while maintaining their starch balance. When it's time for processing, trucks haul the potatoes to one of several dedicated McDonald's fry factories scattered across North America. Upon arrival, the potatoes tumble onto fast-moving conveyors that carry them into the facility for their transformation. The first stop is the wash deck, where industrial scrubbers blast away field dirt while preserving the potato's integrity. Then comes the peeling process, where the potatoes pass through rotating drums, lined with abrasive surfaces that strip away the skin in seconds. Next up is one of the most critical steps in the entire process, the cut. The peeled potatoes are forced through high-pressure water jets fitted with precision blades, slicing them into uniform strips at incredible speed. These aren't ordinary kitchen knives. The water gun slicers use jets traveling at over 60 miles per hour, cutting each potato into perfect fry shapes in less than a second. But raw potato strips won't become McDonald's fries just yet. They first enter a blanching bath, where they're submerged in hot water heated to around 170 degrees Fahrenheit. This step removes excess sugars from the surface and begins the gelatinization of the starches, preparing the fries for the color treatment that comes next. Here's where the secret ingredient enters the picture: dextrose. This natural sugar derived from corn is sprayed onto the blanched fries, giving them the ability to develop that signature golden brown color when fried. Without dextrose, the fries would emerge from the fryer pale and unappetizing, no matter how perfectly they were cooked. With their color locked in, the fries now face the most critical step in the entire process. McDonald's fries are never cooked just once. The secret to their texture lies in a two-stage frying process that begins at the factory and finishes in the restaurant. At the processing plant, the freshly cut and treated fries enter massive industrial fryers filled with a blend of vegetable oils. This first fry, called the par fry, cooks them at around 365 degrees Fahrenheit for just 50 seconds. The goal isn't to finish cooking them. Instead, this partial fry sets the exterior structure, creating a protective shell that will later become that signature crispy coating. As the fries emerge from the par fry, they're still pale and soft, nothing like the golden sticks you'd recognize. That's intentional. The par fry has done its job by cooking the interior to about 80% doneness while establishing the foundation for crispiness. Within seconds of leaving the fryer, the partially cooked fries enter a blast freezer where temperatures plummet to -40 degrees Fahrenheit. This flash freeze happens so quickly that ice crystals don't have time to form large structures that would damage the potato cell walls. The result is fries that maintain their texture and moisture content even after months in frozen storage. Once frozen solid, the fries are packaged and shipped to McDonald's 40,000 restaurants worldwide, traveling in refrigerated trucks that maintain their frozen state until they reach the kitchen. But here's where the real magic happens. When you order fries at McDonald's, they go straight from the freezer into the restaurant's fryers for that crucial second cook. The oil temperature is precisely calibrated to 340 degrees Fahrenheit, and the fries cook for exactly 3 minutes and 10 seconds. This second fry completes the cooking process, transforming the pale frozen strips into the golden, crispy fries you know. The exterior shell created during the par fry now crisps up perfectly, while the interior finishes cooking to that fluffy, steamy texture. The timing matters more than you might think. Cook them 20 seconds too long, and they turn dark and bitter. Pull them 20 seconds early, and they're limp and pale. McDonald's has spent decades perfecting this window, training employees to follow it precisely. Now about that unmistakable flavor. For years, McDonald's fries had a taste that set them apart from every competitor. The secret was beef tallow. From the 1940s through 1990, McDonald's fried everything in a mixture of 93% beef fat and 7% cottonseed oil. This gave the fries a rich, savory depth that customers couldn't quite identify, but absolutely loved. Then came the health concerns of the 1990s. Responding to pressure about saturated fat, McDonald's switched to 100% vegetable oil in 1990. But they knew they couldn't lose that signature taste customers had come to expect. The solution was natural beef flavoring. This ingredient, derived from beef but containing no actual meat, is added to the fries during processing. It provides that same savory note that made the original fries so addictive, all while using vegetable oil for frying. There's a catch, though. The beef flavoring contains milk derivatives, which means McDonald's fries in the United States aren't vegetarian or vegan, despite being fried in vegetable oil. This surprised many customers when the company disclosed the full ingredient list. Regional variations add another layer of complexity. In countries like India, where beef consumption is restricted, McDonald's uses a different formulation entirely. In the UK, the fries contain no beef flavoring at all, making them suitable for vegetarians. The same goes for Canada, where the recipe was adjusted to accommodate different dietary preferences. Even the oil blend varies by region. Some markets use canola oil, others use sunflower or soybean oil, and each creates subtle differences in taste and texture. McDonald's maintains strict standards for each regional recipe, but the fries you eat in Tokyo won't taste exactly like the ones in New York. The moment the fries emerge from the restaurant fryer, they have exactly 7 minutes before they're considered past their prime. That's the window McDonald's has established for maximum freshness, and it's why you'll sometimes see workers tossing out entire batches that have sat too long under the heat lamps. But before those 7 minutes start counting down, there's one final step that completes the experience: salt. McDonald's employees are trained to apply salt using a specific technique, holding the scoop about 12 inches above the fries and sprinkling in a sweeping motion. This ensures even distribution across every fry in the container, so each bite delivers that perfect salty punch. The amount of salt matters too. Too little and the fries taste bland. Too much and they're inedible. McDonald's has calculated the exact quantity needed for each serving size down to the gram, and employees use pre-measured scoops to hit that target consistently. Quality control doesn't stop at the restaurant level. McDonald's maintains testing facilities where food scientists continuously analyze fry samples from locations around the world. They measure everything from oil temperature consistency to salt distribution patterns, ensuring that whether you're in Mumbai or Manhattan, the experience remains remarkably similar. The sensory science behind McDonald's fries goes deeper than most people realize. The combination of salt, oil, and potato creates what food scientists call a bliss point, a perfect balance of fat, salt, and carbohydrates that triggers pleasure responses in the brain. Add in the aroma of frying oil and the satisfying crunch, and you've got a food product engineered to be nearly irresistible. This engineering has turned a simple potato into a global phenomenon. McDonald's fries have become more than just a side dish. They're a cultural touchstone, referenced in movies, debated online, and craved by millions daily. The company continues innovating too. Recent years have seen investments in more sustainable farming practices, working with potato growers to reduce water usage and improve soil health. New frying technologies are being tested that could reduce oil consumption while maintaining that signature texture. From Idaho soil to that first perfect bite, McDonald's fries represent precision engineering disguised as fast food. Every step from the sugar to starch ratio to the double fry method has been refined over decades to create something consistently delicious. Subscribe to Mecca Made for more behind-the-scenes stories that reveal how your favorite foods really get made.